This Paris street should be crowded. In 1838, carts, workers, and pedestrians were moving through it, but almost all of them vanished from the photograph. Only one man, stopping for a boot polish, stayed still long enough to survive the exposure. And this is only one of 3 early photos that look impossible until you know how they were made. They are the moments when the modern visual world learned how to remember. This is where photography begins, not with a click and not with a person posing. Around 1826 or 1827, Joseph Nicephore Niepce pointed a camera at the view outside his window and waited for hours. The strange shadows are not mistakes. Sunlight moved across the buildings while the plate was still recording. That is why the image feels impossible. Only a year later, John William Draper turned the camera upward. This pale disk is one of the first surviving photographs of the moon. It may look soft today, but in 1840 it was astonishing. A camera had recorded something no artist could touch. The moon was no longer just observed through a telescope. It had left evidence of itself on a plate, and photography had escaped the street, the studio, and even the earth. Hippolyte Bayard made one of the strangest early photographs, a self-portrait as a drowned man. He was alive, of course. The image was a protest. Bayard believed his own photographic process had been ignored while Daguerre received glory, so he staged his own death as an accusation. This is why the photo feels modern. It is not only a portrait, it is performance, complaint, and media strategy before media strategy had a name. Anna Atkins used photography for science. In the 1840s, she placed algae directly onto treated paper and let sunlight make a blue cyanotype. These images became part of one of the first photographically illustrated books. The white shape is not a drawing, it is the plant blocking light. Atkins showed that photography could do more than preserve faces. It could classify the natural world with a precision the hand could not always match. John Quincy Adams had already been president long before this daguerreotype was made. In 1843, he sat for a camera that demanded patience and stillness. That hard expression is partly character, but also technology. Early portraits punished movement. A smile was risky. A blink could blur the face. The result is not just a famous man. It is politics entering the photographic age, when public memory started depending on machines. The open door is quiet. A broom, a doorway, a patch of light. But that is exactly why it matters. Talbot showed that photography did not need kings, ruins, or disasters to be meaningful. Ordinary space could carry atmosphere. A simple doorway could become a historical document. Look at the broom. It is such a small object, yet it tells you that a real person passed through this place before the camera did.
This portrait of Edgar Allan Poe feels uncomfortable because photography refused to flatter him. Painters could smooth a face. The daguerreotype kept the tired eyes, the tension, the unevenness. That was one reason early photography felt almost brutal. It made fame less distant. Poe is not a legend here. He is a man near the end of his life, recorded with a directness that still feels close. When Maxime du Camp photographed Egypt around 1850, he changed travel writing. Before cameras, distant monuments reached Europe through drawings, engravings, and imagination. Now the ruins arrived as evidence. The human figure beside the stone is important because it gives scale. Suddenly, viewers could measure the ancient world with their own eyes. Photography became a passport for people who never left home. The Crystal Palace was built for the Great Exhibition of 1851, and early photographs made it look like a machine from the future. Glass, iron, crowds, goods from across the empire. The building was a statement about progress. But the photo also shows something fragile. The modern world wanted to appear clean and certain, yet it depended on temporary structures, spectacle, and constant display. Photography became the perfect witness for that confidence.
Roger Fenton's Valley of the Shadow of Death is a war photograph with no soldiers fighting in it. That absence is what makes it powerful. The cannonballs scattered along the road tell us what passed through this landscape. Early war photography could not easily capture battle in motion, so it captured aftermath, tools, and silence. The camera was still slow, but it had begun to make war visible to people far from the front. This is Fenton's photographic van in Crimea. It looks humble, but it was a mobile darkroom. Every image required glass plates, chemicals, water, timing, and shelter from light. The van reminds us that early photographers were not just artists. They were technicians, carrying a fragile laboratory into mud, heat, and danger. Before photography became easy, every surviving image was a small logistical victory. In 1860, James Wallace Black photographed Boston from a balloon. The title says the city is seen as the eagle and the wild goose see it. From above, streets turn into lines and buildings into a pattern. This is one of the oldest surviving aerial photographs, and it changes the viewer's position completely. The camera is no longer standing at human height. It is beginning to look like surveillance, mapping, and modern planning.
This photograph of Abraham Lincoln was made before his Cooper Union speech in 1860. It helped shape how Americans saw him. The pose is controlled, the clothing formal, the face serious but readable. Lincoln understood that a portrait could travel farther than a speech. Before radio and television, photography became political infrastructure. It created trust at a distance, and sometimes it changed who looked presidential. A harvest of death from Gettysburg brought the cost of the Civil War into public view. The bodies are not symbolic, they are evidence. For many viewers, photographs like this changed war from a newspaper phrase into something physical. It also created an ethical problem that still exists today. When does showing death educate, and when does it consume suffering? Early photography forced that question into the modern world. After the Paris Commune, photographers recorded the broken city with remarkable calm. This fallen Vendôme column was more than rubble. It was a political symbol brought down, then preserved by the camera. The photo shows why archives matter. Governments rebuild streets and monuments, but images keep the unstable moment before the official version returns. Here, history has not settled yet. William Henry Jackson's Mountain of the Holy Cross became famous because it seemed to place a religious symbol inside the American landscape. The camera helped turn remote scenery into national myth. People who would never climb the mountain could still feel they had seen proof. This is one of photography's great powers. It can make distant places emotionally familiar, and then turn them into arguments for travel, settlement, or protection. Muybridge's horse sequence solved a problem the eye could not. People argued about whether all four hooves left the ground while a horse galloped. The camera broke motion into separate pieces, and the answer appeared frame by frame. This is one of the bridges from photography to cinema. Once motion could be divided, it could also be reassembled. The still image was about to become moving image. What makes these images powerful is not only their age, it is what each one teaches us about seeing. The camera began as a slow chemical experiment, then became portrait studio, scientific tool, war witness, political weapon, aerial eye, and finally the beginning of motion pictures. Every photo in this video is a small step toward the world we live in now, where almost everything is recorded instantly. The oldest photographs are strange because they come from a time when capturing reality still felt impossible.